This story begins with Tay, a knave girl who works as a receptionist and has a hidden relationship with a superior. That night, she leaves very happy, as you will dine thugs and they take him away. A year later, she carries on normally with her life and is excited thinking that her boyfriend will ask her to marry him, as she dreams of being a housewife and raising her children. Then she goes to the store, where she meets a former colleague who quit to marry a millionaire. Surprised, she asks her, "How did she end up like this?" The girl named Rika tells her that she is divorced and a single mother, as before she got married she pretended to have a kind and perfect personality. But when her son was born, everything changed, as she showed her true personality, and her husband, realizing it, decided to leave her as he couldn't stand her. The prota thinks that this will not happen to her, since after getting married she will continue pretending to be kind and perfect. But soon everything would change when she finds her boyfriend with another girl. He introduces her as a simple receptionist, signaling her not to say anything, and she, in order to maintain her kind and perfect appearance, listens to him. Annoyed, she buys several plates and takes out her anger by breaking them in a park. She just happens to run into her friend Rika, who was with a boy and his young son. The prota asks her if the boy is her boyfriend. She tells him that it's something like that, since with him she doesn't have to pretend to be perfect and can show her true character, since the boy obeys all her orders, no matter how ruthless they are. Then she gives him a sample by throwing the ball into the river, and the boy, without reproaching her, obeys her and dives for it, which leaves our prota surprised. Then she explains to him that she acquired it on the internet on a page where they auction off boys who have debts, and encourages him to buy one so that he can get out his stress and his true personality, since this way he won't do it with her boyfriend. She recognizes one of the boys, which turns out to be the same one the thugs took, but when she was about to buy him, she receives a message from her boyfriend explaining that the girl was his younger sister, so she decides not to make the purchase. The next day, she tells her colleagues what happened. They advise her not to say anything, because if she reproaches him, she will see his true personality, so she must continue pretending and smiling to fulfill her dream of being a housewife. Then, when leaving work, she is caught by the same girl, who angrily tells her to stay away from her boyfriend. Reka arrives to separate them, and the prota comments to her that she is her fiance's little sister. The girl tells her not to be silly, as that is a lie, but she was happy, since if the woman went to look for her, it is because her boyfriend left her and she won by being the victor. Rika asks her if she doesn't mind him being unfaithful. She tells him that it's something normal, besides she prefers to continue pretending and fulfill her dream of getting married and being a housewife. Before I continue, I send a special greeting to the following people. Thank you very much for watching the videos and supporting the channel. Now let's continue. While her boyfriend tells her that he is being transferred abroad for several years, she naively tells him that she will be waiting for him. And he, out of curiosity, asks her if she knows English, and she misunderstands him, thinking he wants to take her since she doesn't know English. She asks her classmates for advice, as she must learn as quickly as possible. She then goes to the library to get some books, but on her way out she finds her boyfriend with another woman. He again beckons her over, and she again introduces herself as the receptionist. She then sends him a message telling him that she was his older sister, and disappointed and not knowing how to get her anger out, she starts drinking. The next day, she is awakened by someone knocking on the door, and upon leaving, she is told that her order has arrived. Then, she remembers that in her drunkenness she bought the boy online, and in desperation, she calls Rika. She immediately comes to her aid and explains that she must keep it a secret, as everything is illegal. Then, upon opening the box, the boy introduces himself as Yun and thanks her for paying his debt. Rika warns him not to try to escape, as he has a tracker on his foot, and asks the prota to beat him to get his anger out. She at first hesitates, but remembers everything her boyfriend has done to her, and with one blow knocks him to the ground. As Rika retreats, he tells her that she can ask him for anything, even something she is ashamed to ask her boyfriend. She then complains because she can't afford it, since she had to take out a loan to buy it, and Yun tells her to get a part-time job to help her. The next day, she is caught by the girl who was with her boyfriend and congratulates her for being the foolish and safe choice. Rika asks her how she feels. She comments that she feels fine, but Rika tells her that she meant her pride. Annoyed, she tells Yun that she will vent all her anger and asks him to sit down and listen to her. Clearly, she starts complaining about her boyfriend and won't stop talking. 2 hours later, he was already sore and didn't know how to get up. 3 hours later, he had fallen asleep and she was still talking and complaining. In the morning, she happily leaves for work and has a good time with her friends while having breakfast. At another place, Jun by chance meets Rika, and she introduces him to the boy she bought. They both say they feel happy that they were bought by the girls and not by rich, perverted women. On the other hand, the prota sees her boyfriend with another woman, and this time she already knows what to say. but she is amazed by the girl's attributes. At home, she vents to Yun, telling him that this woman had huge breasts to make her feel sexy. She invites him to bed, but it was just a trap, as she did not wish to be unfaithful to her boyfriend. To her bad luck, she drops her towel and, embarrassed, asks him to leave the room. The next day, she prepares the food. He congratulates her because it tastes delicious. So proudly, she tells him that she has cooking courses and that she will be an excellent housewife. For several days, she goes about her normal life while they have dinner. Her boyfriend tells her that he will introduce her to his mother, making her very happy and thinking that she has achieved her goal. She thinks about how to get rid of the boy she bought, but her boyfriend is not to be found, and when she asks him who he is, Jun introduces himself as her brother. On her way home, she is very sad and starts crying, knowing that her boyfriend did not believe her lie. Jun, to console her, tells her that he will marry her and make her a housewife. When they were about to kiss, she hits him, telling him to pay his debt first and be a responsible man. The next day, when her boyfriend arrives, he looks at her with contempt, and together with her friends, they look for a solution. Elsewhere, Jun meets with the boyfriend to try to help her and patch things up. She confesses to him that they are just friends, but the boyfriend tells her that he doesn't believe in friendship between a man and a woman. Jun tells him that he is the least one to judge her since he has been unfaithful with several women. But he excuses himself by saying that he does it to find the ideal woman so that, after marriage, he won't regret it. From that moment on, she was discouraged and Rika was upset because her ex had reported her for not letting him see her son. The boys, a little scared, ask her why she won't let him see him, but she takes it personally, and because he abandoned her, she won't let him see their son. Then Jun, to cheer her up, invites her to lunch. Her boyfriend arrives there, along with her co-worker, and our protagonist is surprised. The next day, she complains to her co-worker, but she tells her that she can't say anything, since she was also with another guy, and her other co-worker tells them that they should fight clean. Justly, discouraged, she thinks how all her dreams collapse. Jun again tries to cheer her up, and they plan to work things out. They go in search of her boyfriend, and surprisingly, she lifts up her shirt, revealing a bra. So the boyfriend understands that she likes men, and they both leave very happy since they fixed the situation. Later at home, he tells her that he is going out with his girlfriend, and she is surprised to learn that he is with someone. The next day, they all meet at Reika's store and talk about everything that has happened. Then, she tells him that, after fulfilling her dream, she can continue to relieve her stress of being married with children. She looks at him affectionately, but hits him to avoid feeling anything. Days later, she was with her boyfriend, finding Jun with her partner. The confused boyfriend asks them to talk, but Jun explains that they made up that story to convince him that they had nothing, but the boyfriend was still doubtful. Then, Jun kisses his girlfriend to clear doubts, and the convinced boyfriend leaves with the protagonist while they take a walk. Finally, he proposes to her. She happily accepts. And when they were about to kiss, she sees Yun's face and nervously runs away. Then, Yun finds her alone, and seeing her ring, he congratulates her. But she, without saying anything to him, starts to complain. The next day, they go to the store and find Rika arguing with her guy. Quickly, they stop her, and the boy asks her to leave his ex alone, as they can both be happy. He also tells her that when he was a child, his mother wouldn't let him see his father, telling him he was a bad man, but when he grew up, he learned that it was all a lie, and now he hates his mother and doesn't want the same thing to happen to his son. But she doesn't listen to him and asks him to leave. When she returns home, she tells him what happened with her boyfriend and sadly tells him that she is thinking of giving him back the ring. He, to support her, tells her that it wasn't that serious and comments that when he talked to her boyfriend, he realized that she is also looking to have a family as she wishes. So he comes to his senses and decides to fix things. The next day, she realizes that she has blocked him, so she throws a tantrum. He again, to help her, goes to convince him, realizing that he blocked him without realizing it, since he will soon be a married man and blocked all the girls, but as several had the name of the protagonist, he got confused. And Jun, before leaving, asked her to set things right. Immediately, he goes to look for her. She leaves nervously, thinking he went to ask for her ring, but he pulls out another one and asks her to be his wife. She is sincere, telling him that she is not a perfect woman, and as he hugs her, he tells her it's okay and apologizes for hurting her. Meanwhile, Yun watches them from a distance and withdraws silently. The next day, he tells her that he has all his money, and giving it to her, he tells her that he is now a free man. So he says goodbye and leaves. Elsewhere, Rika goes in search of her boy and tells him that she has patched things up with her ex-partner and now lets him share time with her son, so they both smile flirtatiously. A year later, the protagonist is pregnant and tells Rika that she has been under a lot of stress. Luckily, her husband is away on a trip, as he would not put up with her bad temper, and she is afraid he will leave her. Rika recommends that she buy a boy back, but she refuses as she doesn't want to have a stranger in her life. To his surprise, she tells him that Jun is available as his girlfriend played him dirty and left him in debt. And that's why he was caught by the thugs. From there we see that she bought him back and takes the opportunity to thank him for his help. She also confesses to him that she knows he disappeared because they were both falling in love. But at that moment, her water breaks, so he quickly calls an ambulance. Out of nowhere smiling, she tells him welcome home, and he replies that this time he won't leave, thus ending this crazy story.